This should be a very important game tonight. Brenzel again makes a nice cut to the outside.
You can talk about second and third effort.
To the pylon, touchdown, Charlestown. Great catch in front of the goal line.
That was a perfect throw for the sophomore quarterback.
Makes a great cut up the field. It's Gonzalez with the carry. Bounces to the outside, to the back of the end zone. What a catch by Ryan Wynn. Hello, Boston, and welcome to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain for our Week 1 coverage of the BPS High Schoo Football season. Tonight, the exam school rivalry continues here between the O'Brien Tigers and the Boston Latin Wolfpack. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Flaherty. Soon I'll be joined by my partner, Alan Platt. We're here at White Stadium for our first week of the 2019 BPS High Schoo Football season. A couple of teams actually played last Friday night to kick off their season. Other teams like O'Brien are starting off here tonight with their first game. And tonight we go back to that exam school rivalry. You got O'Brien, Boston Latin School, and Latin Academy all now playing each other every season, because those are the three exam schools in the city of Boston. So this one should certainly be a lot of fun here tonight. It's O'Brien's first game of the season. Boston Latin, meanwhile, played Cambridge R&L last week, lost by 10. But Coach Butler really liked the way that they finished up that game, and he hopes that his team will do the same thing here tonight and hopefully come out with a W. First, we're going to talk about the O'Brien Tigers, however, and coming into the season, they did graduate some skills players from a year ago, but one player that is back is he's in his junior season, and boy, is he continued to grow as a quarterback. That's Luke Maffeo. He's one of the players we're going to be looking at tonight. Luke is in his third season starting at quarterback for O'Brien. He got thrust into action in week 2 of his freshman year 2 seasons ago, and since then he hasn't relinquished that starting spot. 3 touchdown passes against Boston Latin last year. We covered that game over at O'Brien High School, so certainly a guy that has played well against this team in the past for the O'Brien Tigers. And because of all the guys that they've graduated at the skills positions, he is going to have to step up as a leader for this O'Brien Tigers team. Meanwhile, on the other side, for the Boston Latin Wolfpack, a lot of new faces and a couple of faces that we saw last year that are going to be sprinkled in. One player that we did see a season ago is Ulysses Branzel. He is their starting running back here for Boston Latin. He's our spotlight player tonight, and Ulysses, one of the few experienced running backs on this Latin team. You're going to see him get a couple of handoffs against O'Brien last year. He's got pretty good speed, sort of a slashing running back in and out of holes, and he also can bounce to the outside once in a while, but he can also take a hit and create yards after contact here for Boston Latin. Really the only varsity experienced running back for the Boston Latin Wolfpack coming into the season, and they are banged up a little bit tonight with some of the other younger backs, so Branzel's going to get a lot of carries for Boston Latin here tonight against O'Brien. You see the one rushing touchdown last week against Cambridge R&L. He was able to plunge it in from the goal line early in that game. That certainly helped set the tone for the Boston Latin Wolfpack. He's the only returning starting running back from a season ago. So Branzel, certainly a guy that we're going to look out for here tonight. Folks, now for more on this game, we're going to go to our sideline reporter, Seth Orensky, who's got an update for us. Seth, what do you have?
Thanks, Pat. It's only week 2, but Boston Latin has already suffered some bad injuries. Starting quarterback Matt Susic and backup running back Jamar Fernandez-Guirado both were injured in week 1 against Cambridge Ringen Latin and will be unable to go. They got worse news in the midweek. Starting left tackle and defensive end Anthony Dadish, one of the leaders on the line, suffered a shoulder injury, unable to go today. So it'll be Chris Lee, a fellow senior who wasn't a starting offensive lineman at any other position. A true backup will start today on the blind side of Roy Thompson, who came in last week, led the team to 3 scores. The big question for Ray Butler this week is, can he be consistent throughout an entire game? Sometimes it's almost easier for a quarterback as a backup to come in the middle of the game, not think about it. He's had all week to think about it, and the big thing is, can he play a full 60 minutes today for Boston Latin? Pat, take it away.
Seth, thanks very much. And certainly Boston Latin experiencing some early injuries this season. And now we bring in our color analyst, Alan Platt. And Alan, it's funny to see, or not funny, but it's actually sort of unique to see a team with so many injuries at the very beginning of the season. They've only played one game, but so many guys in practice and earlier on in training camp and last week in the game have gotten banged up for Boston Latin.
I can think of three other things. Frustrating, bad luck, right? And really, really making the coaches for Latin very nervous.
No question.
You get ready all summer. You think about last season, and you're looking forward to some of those underclassmen who got some varsity time. But like you said earlier, inexperience. So you want to put them on the field, have them get the feel of playing varsity football. Hurt, injury here, sickness here. So it's tonight's going to be sort of a hodgepodge for Latin.
That's right. Well, we'll see how it goes. Coach Ray Butler is going to have to get creative and sprinkle some different younger players in and hope that they perform tonight. This should be a fun one. Once again, it's the start of the exam school rivalry. This is about the third year they've done this with those three exam school teams, and it has always been a lot of fun. A lot of these games have been very close over the last couple of years. We're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the opening kickoff here at White Stadium in Jamaica Plain right after these messages. Don't go away.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can
get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do?
Graduate and take some office job?
Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher.
You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. Yeah, we're getting so wet.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Welcome back to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain for our first week of coverage of the 2019 BPS High School football season. Tonight, the O'Brien Tigers will be taking on the Boston Latin Wolfpack. O'Brien in the blue and black uniforms won the toss. They've elected to kick off. Meanwhile, Boston Latin Wolfpack will be receiving to start off the game.
Interesting, Pat. You mentioned all the uncertainty on both sides. Kevin Gatson, head coach for O'Brien in like his 12th year, usually likes to be aggressive and get the ball first. So this is an indication that he's a little uncertain and maybe wants to have some of his young guys on defense get those first hits on the first drive of the game.
Yeah, get those jitters out early on defense rather than on offense. Kane Kaba set to kick for the Tigers. Brenzel and Marchi back to receive for Latin. We are underway here at White Stadium. Brenzel fields it at the 14, hands it off to Marchi over the left side. Well, Marchi's got a seam down the left sideline, and then is knocked out of bounds right at the 40. 29-yard return there for Will Marchi.
Yeah, well executed, too, because you don't usually see that often. You see a lot of times teams will fake that handoff, especially when Brenzel, one of their top runners, has the ball. So Ulysses did a good job to, I think, read. It's like an option situation. He can read it, and if he sees an opening for his teammate, he'll hand it off. So 29 yards later, they're starting at their own 40-yard line.
Over at the 40-yard line.
So 1st and 10 now for Boston Latin at the 40. Roy Thompson in at quarterback. Brenzel the deep back. They hand it off to Brenzel on first down. Slips through the line and then gets up to about the 44-yard line. So about a 4-yard pickup there on first down.
Tell you, good execution.
They're the starters for the Wolfpack. Thompson at quarterback, Brenzel, Marchi, and Harris are the receivers. Leonardo is the tight end for Boston Latin.
Single back in the backfield with Thompson.
That trips to the top of your screen. Pass goes, or snap goes over the head of Thompson, and I think O'Brien recovered. And the Tigers did recover at the 35.
I think you called it inadvertently, Pat. You talked about jitters on offense. You don't want to deal with that. That's exactly what we have here. High snap, and then the quarterback, instead of just pouncing on it, tried to sort of scoop it to keep possession, lost it, and now O'Brien's in business.
Take another look at it here.
Right through his hands. Now, right here, right there. So he's trying to pick it up instead of just jumping on it to save possession.
So O'Brien takes over at the Latin 35-yard line on first down. They hand it off to Curlins Ginty, who slips through past the 30 up to the 28-yard line.
Tackle was made by Will Brecky. The carry was by Curlins Ginty.
Like you said, Ginty, slashing type runner, decent speed.
Maybe second and 3.
They're the starters for O'Brien. Luke Maffeo, the quarterback. Curlins Ginty and Omi Grell, the running backs. Meanwhile, it's Jaden Smith and Foster are the receivers. On second down, they hand it off to Ginty again. This time he's got more space. Ginty, eyes on the end zone. Touchdown, O'Brien.
Touchdown, Tigers. On the carry by Curlins Ginty.
So just like that, the Tigers capitalize off the turnover. A 28-yard touchdown run for Curlins Ginty.
And then we changed that from decent speed to excellent speed because he popped that hole, I'm telling you, and then he wasn't even touched until he was past the linebackers, ran through an arm tackle, and that was all speed. Yeah, Thompson coming from the safety spot, just couldn't get him on the angle. Excellent start for O'Brien. You get another look at it, and you'll see your eyes on the end zone. Tuck that ball high and tight.
And Coach Gadsden said, we just need to give Curlin some daylight, and he can take it the rest of the way. We saw it there, right there on that 28-yard touchdown run. They give it to Ginty again on the two-point conversion, and he's able to plow forward to cap off the touchdown. So 8-0 now for the O'Brien Tigers as they're on top of Boston Latin here with 10:27 left to go in the first quarter.
Well, let's not forget, last year, you see Ginty with the two-point conversion. Actually bobbled the ball. Good job to get possession again before he got over the goal line. Let's not forget, last year Boston Latin was 1-10. So even though they lost a bunch of seniors, some of the younger players didn't get a chance to play a whole lot, and now they're being depended on to step right up. I know they had a tough loss to Cambridge Region Latin last week on the first game of the season, but we always talk about jitters for, I guess you call them new varsity players. Some kids come up from junior varsity, other kids are just playing football for the first time or very inexperienced. And both coaches in this game will be trying to read those situations to make sure that they don't put players in uncomfortable spots.
And we talked about Roy Thompson, the starting quarterback for Boston Latin. He did not come into week one as the starter, but Matt Susich, as Seth mentioned in his open, was the starter, got hurt. Thompson came in, threw 2 touchdown passes, had a good game against Cambridge. Here comes Marchie again on the return, and that time he's tripped up right around the 29-yard line. 15-yard return for Will Marchie.
Now see, on that one, Marchie made the catch, and he faked the handoff to his teammate, which opened things up for him. See, there's the fake handoff. And again, he's had 2 decent returns here in the game so far. But now you have a hyped-up O'Brien defense in blue and black. Meanwhile, Latin's trying to just stay away from turnovers.
Now on first down for Latin at the 30-yard line. It's Thompson on the quarterback keeper, and he makes his way up to the 33. So about a 3-yard pickup there for Roy Thompson.
Well, Thompson from the quarterback spot does have some speed, and he'll probably stay in the shotgun most of this game. See, the line pulled to the right, he came back to the left, was able to get around the defensive end. Short gain, but something positive.
Yeah, you wonder if that's a play where Coach Butler was like, we just got to get this
something going.
Quarterback
right, yeah.
a little more comfortable out there, so give him call his own number there. As Thompson this time tucks it in and takes it again, makes his way up to the 36-yard line.
A late flag, too.
That could be a horse collar.
Either a horse collar or a face mask. One of those two. Yeah, it was a late flag, so usually that has something to do with the runner.
A personal foul, face mask on the defense, 15 yards, result in a first down.
Well, that'll help the cause for Boston Latin. Interesting to your point, Pat. I think you're right. So coaches for Latin just want to get Thompson a chance to get the feel of the game.
Sure.
That time he did get tackled. Unfortunately, he had the face mask, but again, once you get that first hit in the game, you can relax and start to really play.
And like we mentioned, like Seth mentioned, he played last week, but he didn't start. And it's a whole new ball game when you're named the starting quarterback, other than having to come in because of an injury. Now they give it to Brenzel on the sweep over the left side. Brenzel with a nice cut, bounces off a tackler and makes his way up to the 40.
That was a good run. Yeah, Brenzel faked, cutting inside, went back to the sideline. Seems like the Latin's starting to calm down a bit. Now watch him fake, cutting back to the middle, right there, then goes back to the outside. Good block in front of him. His wide receiver, Jake Leonardo, the tight end, gave him a nice block near the sideline.
9-yard pickup on first down for Brenzel, so it's 2nd down and 1 now for the Wolfpack. This time they run Brenzel over the right side. He's got to escape one tackler, tries to cut it back upfield, gets past the 40,
Yeah, good
by
job.
about a half a yard, so that'll be a first down, Latin Wolfpack.
Ran a long way to get the half yard, but most importantly, it is for the first down. Good penetration, get away from the rusher, and split the two defenders there. Nice job to finish off the run.
You see Ray Butler, head coach of Boston Latin. Now on first down, Thompson going to take it himself after the fake to Brenzel. And he's tripped up after about a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, timing is tough when you have such an experience. It's hard to say if that was supposed to be a handoff or it was just a bobble. Yeah, the way it came off Brenzel's shoulder. So Thompson was alert enough to haul it in. Latin staying with this one-back set.
Second down and 8 now, and it's Brenzel with the carry this time. Again, he tries to bounce it to the outside, but he's run down nicely out of bounds by O'Brien's number 12, Michael Brooks.
I think we're seeing the defensive backs for O'Brien get closer and closer to the line of scrimmage because all Latin's been doing so far is trying to run the ball outside. Here's Brenzel. You see him trying to decide where he can cut in.
Thompson back to throw over the middle, looking for Marchie, and the ball falls incomplete.
Yeah, a little too much zip on that one.
Intended for Jake Leonardo. 4th down and 7.
You see the first pass attempt, he really zipped that in there. And they didn't need that much fire on it, but it was up a 4th and about 7.
So Latin inside the 40-yard line. We'll go for it here on 4th down. Got to think again they'll go to the air, and now O'Brien wants to call a timeout. There was 6:52 left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, one of those situations in no man's land. It's too close to punt, and obviously we're already down a touchdown. So,
folks, if it feels like the quarter's a little longer than usual, well, that's because it is.
They are, right.
The MIAA just changed the set of rules that they're going to go to with high school football rules to the federation rules rather than the NCAA rules. So now teams will be playing with 12-minute quarters rather than 11 that they were last season. Let's go to our sideline reporter real quick, Seth Orensky, before we get going again. Seth, what do you have?
Thanks, guys. Huge offensive play upcoming for Boston Latin. One thing to watch is the snap. Thomas Stone, the center, came off after that fumble on the snap on the previous series, kept working on it, but his snaps have been consistently high, making it difficult for Roy Thompson to get the playoff. Guys?
Thanks very much, Seth. And
yeah, we have seen 2 high snaps so far. There's a 3rd one.
Now on 4th down, Thompson over the right side. Can't hit his receiver. He had really no throwing lane there. So it'll be a turnover on downs for Boston Latin.
Little trickery from O'Brien. Decides to go with a blitz. Expecting a pass play, so you'll see from the left of your screen 3 O'Brien rushers. No chance at all. Like you said, Pat, no passing lane, not much space at all. No chance on that play. I say that O'Brien sidelines got to be pretty happy. I mean, okay, you get the break on the turnover to set up your first score, but you don't have to worry about the young kids being nervous because it's been sort of easy so far.
Different look here for O'Brien as it's actually Michael Brooks back at quarterback instead of Maffeo. Maffeo line up as a receiver. They hand up to Ginty here on first down, and he's stuffed at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that was a quick change. They had put Brooks in there. And
starting offense for the O'Brien Tigers.
Has a little bit of a problem with that handoff, not quite so smooth.
Harold Smith, Michael Brooks, Antoine Foster, Ivan Martin, Amari Rivas, LeBron Rodra.
So O'Brien's going to stay with Brooks at quarterback as Luke Maffeo lines up in the slot at receiver.
Well, Mateo's a pretty good all-around athlete.
They hand up to Ginty again, and once again he's stuffed right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we talked about an experience on the offensive lines for both teams. Now, after the turnover, by Latin that he has good penetration. There's no contact at all. He's hit before he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Opposite of what we saw in the first drive, but you basically had Latin on their heels after the unexpected turnover. And 2 good runs were able to get them into the end zone.
DeAndre Harris making the tackle in the backfield there for Boston Latin. 3rd and 14 now for the O'Brien Tigers. Brooks rolling to his left, looking to throw.
A good deflection.
And
good
the ball's
deflection.
Knocked down there by Boston Latin. Yeah,
So
again,
both
that's Harris in there.
Yeah, both teams going to some blitz action on 3rd and long situations, back to back. And now O'Brien will be forced to punt. Good to see Boston Latin bounce back with some aggressive defensive play.
So the Tigers are back to kick, back to receive for the Boston Latin Wolfpack is Brenzel. And now we're going to flag on the play. It's either too many men or
delay.
Illegal formation.
Yeah.
Or delay of game.
Illegal substitution on the offense, 5-yard
or a
penalty,
fourth possibility.
4th down.
So an illegal substitution for the Tigers. Those are the type of penalties that you
First
always
game.
see
First
in your first
game.
game.
There you go, first
you
game. Actually, they had both there, legal substitution and 2 minutes, because one of the players just ran off.
So once again, Tigers will be looking to kick here on 4th and 19 now is Kaba with an end-over-end punt. Brenzel fields it, then drops the football. And the Tigers recover at the 48-yard line of Boston Latin.
Yeah, Brenzel made the cardinal mistake of looking upfield before he actually caught the ball. The ball was coming directly at him, but he was looking at where he was going to go instead of keeping his eye on the ball. He watches it comes down. So he's thinking about where he's going. Again, good aggressive play by O'Brien. The coverage, the fact that you had good coverage allowed you to get that fumble recovery easily.
Another look at it. Goes right through the arms of Brenzel. Ami Grell did a nice job of then sort of chipping Brenzel because when you drop the football, you're the one that knows where it's going.
Exactly.
Everybody else is kind of reacting. So Grell did a good job of keeping Brenzel away from that. Now we got a high snap here for Brooks. Is he able to hang on to the ball? I think he did recover right around the 39-yard line.
He did a good job because he was sliding on the turf trying to recover the football. Now, these are some of the mistakes we thought we'd see earlier in this game. Both teams, some inexperience, some jitters. See, the ball did come out, okay. Did a good job to get that back.
It is interesting that they're going with Brooks. Maffeo with so much experience as a quarterback, and Maffeo threw 3 touchdown passes versus Boston Latin last season.
You're right. You got some motion.
And they pitch it over to Ginty, and that one goes high over his head. He still can't pick up the football. Ginty going to be wrapped up in the backfield well behind the 20-yard line, so a huge loss there for O'Brien.
Put a capital H on that one. I mean, that was Ginty. And again, you make these are the mistakes. Instead of keeping possession, you try to pick it up, kicked it 10 yards further back, and then gets mauls. So the first thing he'll be told, listen, we have to just keep possession of the football. Don't worry about losing yardage.
Ray Ahern and DeAndre Harris there for the tackle. So 3rd and 43 for O'Brien to hand it off to Ginty. Escapes a couple of tacklers. Ginty is then bottled up right around the 23-yard line. So it'll be 4th and a mile for O'Brien. They're going to have to punt.
Yeah, good job by Ginty. Good effort anyway. I mean, you're just going to run a simple play. Does a good job to get out of that tackle. But the defense is all. As a matter of fact, some of his teammates were a little confused when he reversed his fields, caught them out of position. They have another chance for Brenzel to make up for that last mistake on the punt.
Kaba again back to kick. Again, an end-over-end punt. Brenzel letting this one go. And O'Brien's going to down it right around the 41-yard line. So, again, good field position for Boston Latin.
Wolfpack will take over at the 41-yard line.
36-yard punt after that roll for Kaba and the O'Brien Tigers. 2:41 left to go here in the first quarter. O'Brien Tigers on top of the Boston Latin Wolfpack 8-0 after a 28-yard Curlin's Ginty touchdown run on their first possession after the turnover by the Wolfpack. See if Latin can respond here late in the first quarter. Hand off to Brenzel on first down, makes a nice little cut, then bounces to the outside. Brenzel with a good carry well into O'Brien territory at the 46-yard line.
That's on Pat. You mentioned his cut. He made a good cut, plus he faked the second cut to get him out to the sideline. Right there, nice. Oh, stop and go. There's the cut right there. Left the linebacker in the middle of the field and got himself out to the sideline. Good 14-yard pickup.
Now on first down from the 46. Trips to the top of your screen again. Again, they give it to Brenzel. Again, he bounces it to the outside. Picks up a couple there on first down up to the 43-yard line. Make that the 44. I'm sorry, that's the 43. About a 3-yard gain there on first down.
Well, he's the workhorse. He's going to get a lot of carries.
As we mentioned, really the only healthy running back they really have on the roster. I mean, there's not a lot of guys who have a lot of experience carrying the ball for Latin besides Brenzel.
And I'm sure we're going to see Thompson on some quarterback keepers also mixed in there.
Thompson looking down the left side of the field. He's got Harris. And Harris is brought down right around the 2-yard line.
That's a beautiful pass. Beautiful pass. I mean, Harris, I'm not sure what the cornerback was doing, but Harris was open. He's open right now. And you see Thompson puts a lot of air under it. Good job by Harris to be patient, make a beautiful catch, and very close to the touchdown, about what, the 1-yard line?
Yeah, they got him at the 1. Here's another look at it.
You see, he ran right by the cornerback. Ran right by him. Safety had to come over to try to catch up, and they kept him out of the end zone, but that was a huge bomb.
First and goal now for Boston Latin, coming up on a minute left to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, I guess some movement.
Early movement. That's going to back the Wolfpack up 5 yards.
They get too excited after a big play like that, that long pass.
Defense in the neutral zone.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, they lined up in the neutral zone, did O'Brien.
So so he's already lined up in the neutral zone. So that negates the motion, because that comes first. So they get, what, a half-yard penalty? Yeah.
So they're up to about the half-yard line. These are plays sometimes you're wondering if they should just put the quarterback under center and just fall forward.
That's exactly what O'Brien was expecting, but it's not happening. Yeah,
hand off to Brenzel here at the goal line, and he is in for a touchdown. Ulysses Brenzel from the half-yard line gives Boston Latin their first touchdown of the night.
And we have an injured player for O'Brien. You see Brenzel backing his way in. He's giving good effort on on all of his runs. I mean, he's tough to bring down by one person. See, simple handoff. Lowers that shoulder, then backs his way in after he gets hit.
I believe that's Ivan Martins down for O'Brien. You saw towards the end of that play, he got leg whipped by one of his teammates.
His own teammates, right. They were both trying to converge on Brenzel. Hate seeing those types of things happen.
See Coach Kevin Gadsden of O'Brien in his 12th season as the head coach of the Tigers.
Yeah, go check on his injured player. Knowing Kevin, he also wants to have a couple of words with his cornerback. he'll take the opportunity to remind them.
He'll inch over there.
How are you letting Harris run right by you? We know he's one of their speed guys. Well, beginning of the season, and it's one of those things. It's tough, like you said in the open pass. It's tough enough when you know you have a lot of inexperienced players coming back that you're going to depend on. But add that to beginning of the season jitters. Now, Latin's already played a game, but this is the first real action, first game for O'Brien. So some of their players, let's watch it again, middle of your screen. They see the leg whip. And totally unintended is he had a teammate trying to make the tackle.
Looks like he was able to walk off under his own power, which is always a good sign. So we resume play here with 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Boston Latin with a 1-yard touchdown run from Ulysses Brenzel. Now Wolfpack will look to convert the extra point as Peter Dadish is out there to kick.
Surprised they're doing this. They're down 2 points.
They must have pretty good confidence in Dadish.
Well, they've actually had decent place kicking for a number of years. It was a
high snap, and Dadish has just got to fall on it.
Fake field goal, no
So
good.
another high snap.
Covered by Wolfpack.
Hurts Boston Latin that time on the PAT. So Latin still trails O'Brien 8-6 here late in the first quarter.
30.7 seconds left from the first quarter.
5-play, 59-yard drive for Boston Latin. That was capped off by the 1-yard touchdown run by Brenzel. And despite being down by 2, that was just huge for Latin just to get a touchdown.
Oh, well, you know, it's interesting. I think the Latin defense actually helped get them back in the game emotionally because they were able to stop O'Brien. Matter of fact, throw them for losses on O'Brien's last 2 possessions. Looks like they're going to, well, the official time's on the field, so the referee just made them switch sides, so the first quarter must be over.
Okay, so the quarter is over on the field. They haven't adjusted that on the scoreboard, so it's now the second quarter.
The kickoff for the Wolfpack.
So this will be the start of the second quarter when Latin kicks off. Dadish with a short end-over-end kick that stops right at the 36.
Yeah. Home grill with the recovery for the Tigers.
So Bryant now have what? This is going to be their 4th possession. Now the first one was right after the turnover, but the last 2 times O'Brien's had the ball, they were going backwards, and thanks to the defense of Latin. So in terms of momentum, is sort of even, whereas O'Brien, after that quick score, look at the sun, wow. Autumn, oh, there you go.
Really nice shot of a plane.
Coming in?
Past a full moon tonight.
Right. You gotta save that for Halloween, right?
That's right. Well, we got a full moon on Friday the 13th, so something crazy is going to happen in this game.
Well, we've already had a couple of fumbles.
So start of the second quarter here at White Stadium. On first down, they hand off to Ginty again, slips a couple of tackles, and slithers forward up to the 41 as Maffeo's back in there at quarterback for O'Brien.
I guess that moving them around was just to sort of throw the defense off for Latin. You see Ginty running through a couple of arm tackles. Okay, the clock operator is now caught up to the officials. but
Week 1 at White Stadium, too. This is their first game of the season. Second down and 6 now for the Tigers. Another high snap, but Maffeo's able to hang on to it. Now tries to make something of it. Plows forward up to the 41-yard line, back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to mark him down at the 40, so he actually lost a yard on that play.
Yeah, the officials should take a second to allow the clock to be reset. You see Maffeo, good hands to pull it in. He's gone to the left of your screen. Wow, it takes a wallop. One of the safeties from Latin.
There's Luke Maffeo, third-year starter for the O'Brien Tigers. As we mentioned before, thrust into action the second week of his freshman season. So you see him rolling right, fires it over the left side, and couldn't hit his intended receiver as he was looking for a Karan Small over near the far sideline.
Yeah, Small tried to make a late adjustment on the ball, but it was just thrown a little too high. You see Maffeo, good size, strong arm. See, we're so, over the past few years, we're so used to seeing O'Brien with a lot of different skill players.
Backs, receivers.
Right, exactly, and interchangeable too. Guys, I mean, Kevin Gatch would play with him, put him in flanker, put him in the backfield, deep back in the eye.
I think Tim Lambright lined up everywhere but center.
There you go.
So the Tigers now on 4th and 6, going to punt the football as Kaba, this time with a low spiraling kick. Brenzel lets it go, and that's going to pin the Wolfpack back inside the 15-yard line.
Looks like Coach Butler has told Brenzel, no more catching the punch. Just let him go.
Unless you got about 20 yards of open field.
Because he had some open field. It wasn't 20, maybe about 10 yards before the coverage was bearing down on him, but it was clear he wasn't even going to try to catch it. Coaches just had the hardest time stressing. In situations like this, with inexperience, we've got to possess the ball. You can't give the ball up. That's the easiest way, the guaranteed way to lose games. If you just keep turning the ball over. But Latin has settled down now. They got their first touchdown, and even though they're deep in their own territory, they have the ball. I'm not sure what's going on with the clock, but the official time again is on the field anyway.
Brenzel again bounces it to the outside, past the 15-yard line.
Still going. Did he? Okay, yeah, that was just gang tackling.
Brenzel picks up 2 on the play.
Yeah, at first it looked like he was going to be whistled for forward progress stopped. See, right here, but instead he ran out of that. See, Latin sideline. See, the other thing, another indication of their injuries. We're used to seeing a lot more players on the sideline for Boston Latin.
They came into week 1 with almost 40 guys, I believe. Now they're down to about 24. See several guys without uniforms on.
See some crutches in there. And
some early motion. That's going to be a false start on Boston Latin.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty. We're going to repeat second down.
Eight to 6, O'Brien in the blue and black, ahead by 2 points. And now we're starting to see some of the mental errors from Boston Latin. A lot of it has to do with the fact they're so deep in their own territory. Now no one wants to make a mistake, and that's the type of thing that just sort of dominates your mind as you're trying to, run a play.
Now on second down, Thompson over the middle looking for Leonardo, but pass a little behind him. It falls incomplete.
Now Leonardo actually had double coverage. Much better job for both the cornerback and the safety. Yeah, Thompson took a real chance to try to get this squeezes between 2 defenders. You can see, see underneath and over the top.
So 3rd and 13 now for the Wolfpack. They hand off to Brenzel. No, they fake the handoff to Thompson on the end around. Thompson's got some room. He stepped out of bounds, however.
Yeah, I don't think he knew how close he was to the sideline. Because it looked like he did have some room to cut back.
So solid gain there on 3rd down. Gives the Wolfpack a little more room to punt here on 4th.
Yeah, right there, he just lost track of how close he was to the sideline. And Thompson's got to feel good about that 41-yard pass that he was able to connect on their touchdown drive.
Peter Dadish back to kick for Wolfpack. This time a good snap. Took him a while to get it off. End over end punt that ricochets out of bounds.
Looks like he lost the handoff somehow and couldn't get the punt off in his regular motion, so ended up with just being like off the side of his foot for just 10 yards. So again, now watch what happens with the ball. It's like he actually slips. Okay, his plant foot slips. That throws his timing off totally.
Anytime you're a kicker or punter, when that happens, and you got timing thrown off.
It's like your whole body's like, okay, what do we do now? I mean, lucky he got the ball off, but again, went off the side of his foot because his whole sequence was off. And that's just not high school. We see that in the pros. I mean, especially nowadays with all these missed extra points and field goals.
That's right.
Yeah.
Once they move the extra point back a little bit, all the kickers were thrown off.
Yeah, it's more in your mind as much as being a physical kick.
Michael Brooks back in at quarterback for O'Brien. Gene T, the deep back for the Tigers. Handed off to Gene T on first down, and he gets tripped up right around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we're seeing the Latin defense now really key on him. Wherever he goes, they're watch simple handoff left to your screen. You'll see Latin coming first guy through. Anthony Philemon, inside linebacker.
Second down and 9 now for the Tigers. Out of spread formation, it's Brooks back to throw. Dumps the screen off to Gene T over the left side. Gene T with some room. Bounces to the outside. Touchdown. Curlin's Gene T, his second touchdown of the first half.
Well, watch, it's like a delayed screen. Those middle screens, delayed action, fakes to his right, comes back to his left, and Gene T, this is all speed right here. One little cut. Untouched. He has good quickness and speed.
Yeah, he's been impressive here.
Once he gets the ball. See, it's a fake to the right. Now you have coming back to the left, so like a middle screen. Once he catches it, he's already beaten the linebacker. Downfield, gets a nice block. And Rupa, one of his senior offensive linemen, gave him a nice block to make it easy for Jinchi to scamper in.
We got a flag on the two-point conversion here.
This conversion is important because you can make it a two-score game if O'Brien is able to make it. If Latin can stop them, then it's still just a one-score game. The official's trying to sort it out.
I got to think it's on O'Brien if they're going to talk to Ray Butler to figure out what he wants to do.
Both fouls are against Blue, but the first foul was a dead ball foul, which was the 5 yards procedure. Okay, unsportsmanlike against them. You don't get the choice because the ball was dead.
Yeah,
had it been live,
just be 5 yards.
You would have had the choice to carry over. Okay.
All right. Good explanation.
So I've got a dead ball procedure penalty on the offense. We also have a dead ball personal foul on the offense. We have 20 yards. We're going to start from the 23 yards.
So I'll back them up 15 for the. It's a lot more than 15.
Yeah, I thought he said, yeah.
20-yard penalty, so.
Well, he had them both. He had the 5 to the 15, which is unusual.
Both were dead ball penalties.
So now, obviously, the two-point conversion is much tougher. It'll be a major advantage for Latin if they can stop this. Like I said, they'll keep it a one-score game.
So Luke Maffeo back in there at quarterback to try to convert this two-point conversion. Dainty had that 23-yard screen pass for a touchdown. Have to draw something up.
Yeah, Mason, the exact same play. I mean, Latin wouldn't be expecting it. But it's got to be some kind of pass because they're way out there for this two-point conversion.
Maffeo back to throw over the right side, and his receiver couldn't hang on to it. Was probably going to get tackled.
Yeah.
Right there, that's Jaden Smith who couldn't control that pass.
Pass complete. Incomplete intended for Jaden Smith.
Yeah, Jaden again turned his head, trying to look for an angle to cut back inside, but got to catch the ball first. So Latin, gotta feel like they're sort of in the game, but they've got to make some plays. That's the key. It's I mean, I think it's a little tough for them that we're not seeing Brenzel even try to field any more punts because he clearly has the talent to get a decent return. We'll see how in the kickoff so far they've run the reverse twice. One time they handed it off the ball for reverse. Second time they faked the reverse. Got good returns both times.
Rolling kick that goes to Brenzel. He fields it right around the 25-yard line. Good
Nice
cut by Brenzel. Bounces to the outside, does Ulysses Brenzel. Got a seam down the sideline, and he's shoved out of bounds.
Wow. That
well
saved
inside
it.
O'Brien territory.
So now he'll go back and ask Coach Butler, Coach Butler, can I catch a punt now? Good job by Brenzel. Watch this little cut right there. Steps outside. Now, there's an angle on him right there, and that's what eventually gets him bounced out of bounds, but a 46-yard return.
Yeah, Jaden Smith was there to save a touchdown as they
you're
mark him
right.
down at the 33.
He was the last one. Watch the right of your screen. You'll see number 3 right there, Smith. Smith takes the angle. Good job for him to cut him off and then force him to the sideline and out of bounds.
Now on first down, Thompson going deep down the left side.
Ooh,
and the ball falls
close.
incomplete again. He was looking for Harris,
Yeah.
who made that 40-yard catch back late in the first quarter.
That was a well-thrown ball, too. That time, he might have had a little too much air under because it allowed the safety from the middle of the field to come over and make a play. See, that time, you had the safety for O'Brien come over, and Antoine Foster made it tough for Harris to even see that ball coming to him. You got to be impressed with the arm strength for Thompson so far.
On second down, Thompson tucks it in, gets bottled up at the line of scrimmage, even lost a yard there on second down. So it'll be 3rd and 11 now for the Wolfpack.
Some of these plays, it's tough to tell if it was just a missed handoff or if that looked like it was intentional, and O'Brien was ready for it. I really thought we'd see him throw to the tight end more. So far, I think Leandro's only had 2 passes thrown to him. He's got good size.
Sean Vassell with the tackle in the backfield there on second down. Now it's Thompson going to tuck it in again on 3rd down, and he's going to be stopped at the 33, so just a 1-yard pickup there on 3rd down.
Well, it's 4-down territory because they're, again, that like a fake handoff, but O'Brien was ready for him. Okay, Latin's going to take a timeout this 4th down play. They've shown some their willingness to go deep downfield with the passing. So whatever something that they probably haven't used yet. Like I said, I'm still waiting to see them throw more to Leonardo, the big tight end.
Also Will Marchie, who last week had a kick return for a touchdown and had a pass reception for a touchdown. We haven't seen him involved in the offense quite as much so far in this game. Folks, you want to follow us on social media, you can go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/Game of the Week Boston. A lot of good stuff up on that site. Make sure you like us there. Check out all our photos and videos and all that good stuff. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Late the second quarter here at White Stadium, Boston Latin faced with a 4th and 11 at the O'Brien 33-yard line. Wolfpack looking to cut this 8-point O'Brien lead down before halftime. 5:17 left on the clock here at the stadium. However, the official time is kept down with the officials. And in the last quarter, the clock wasn't as accurate. So we can't quite trust that clock just yet here in the second quarter.
So around 5:17, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere close to 5 minutes to go.
Somewhere in
halftime.
that threshold.
We'll give you a 2-minute warning. Yeah, this is 4th down, but I'm talking about when there's 2 minutes left in the half, I'll give you the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, so I think that
right
clock
on
is
cue.
still...
There you go.
No, you have 2. It's only 3 timeouts.
There's the official telling Kevin Gatson that he will get a warning about the 2 minutes.
So now 4th down and 11. Thompson looking to get rid of it. They were trying to throw a screen.
He was about to get crunched.
He got bull rushed up the middle by the Tigers.
There was a screen pass, but even on a screen pass, you got to at least nudge the guys, the rushers, before they. This is like an all-out sprint. Watch them all. You get 3 of them coming at Thompson. He couldn't even get his full throwing motion. You know, Pat, before the game, you mentioned the time difference in terms of going to the Federation rules. Also, difference in timeouts. Is Kevin Gatson was just warned he only has 3 timeouts for the half, as opposed to the 5 that they've had for years and years and years. So,
yeah, those are always useful too in the first game of the season when you
when you have so much going
out
wrong
there. Right. You got to clean things up. The Tigers now with a 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line. On 1st down, Brooks hands off to Ginty. And he plows forward past the 35 up to almost the 36.
It's just tough that we have the clock on the scoreboard working, but it's obviously not totally exact. So it's tough for the coaches because they're thinking that's the real time.
Down to the 36-yard line.
Just not sure why the officials wouldn't. Well, hopefully the second half they can get it straightened out. Because they can just take their own official timeout and tell them where to set the clock.
The handoff to Ginty, escapes a couple tackles in the backfield. Ginty's still on his feet. He's tripped up right around the 43-yard line, right on the sticks.
He made a 1st down. I mean, close to it, very less than a yard. Watch this. He turns what could have been a big loss into nothing. Ran out of that arm tackle, 2 arm tackles, and then good strides to a nice gain. He's less than a half yard for a 1st down.
Getting word from the sideline that it's under 3 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. So you see another look at that tough Ginty run.
It ended up there was a 1st down. Watch him finishing off with that forward dive. That gave him enough for the 1st down.
1st down, 43-yard line.
So Brian offense got to be feeling pretty good. Not many mistakes on their end.
Brooks now rolling to his right on the quarterback sweep over the right side. He's got some space. Michael Brooks getting knocked down right around the 29-yard line. Make that the 28.
So looks like Kevin Gatson might be setting up his season with a running quarterback and a passing quarterback. I mean, that was a design. They saw something in the defensive formations for Latin to make them feel that Brooks could get outside, and that's exactly what he did. Huge gain.
29-yard pickup there from Michael Brooks.
Interesting concept. I mean, you think about it long term for the season, and it safeguards you against injury. If one of the kids happens to get nicked or has to sit out, you have experience. Again, see Jinty really being keyed on. that time it wasn't Jinty, but
yeah, that time it was Izabazua with the carry.
Yeah. Jinty had to play off on that one. Get him a break. A little trouble with the handoff. With the first half winding down, this is key defensively for Latin. They want to keep it 14-6. Try to get the ball back to their offense.
Second and 13 now for the Tigers.
There's some single coverage right in front of us with Small.
Brooks again tucking it in and running, and he's got a lot of space over the right side. Brooks then wrapped up inside the 15-yard line, right around the 13.
Latin is doing something on the spacing on that left side that is giving Brooks all this running room.
13-yard line.
37 yards rushing now for Michael Brooks. He leads the Tigers. Here's one to look at.
First down, Tigers.
No hesitation, tucks it in, makes a nice cut to get away from Leonardo. I think that was just a 2-minute warning.
Now on first down for O'Brien. Brooks tries to get it over to his receiver. It was intended for Antoine Foster.
Well covered that time by Latin. Actually, O'Brien's lucky it did go a little bit forward, so it wasn't a lateral.
Clock is now correct, so we do have 1:48 left to go here in the second quarter. Brooks, fade ball over the right side and couldn't quite hit his receiver.
A little too much on it.
Once again, he was looking for Foster, that time towards the back pylon.
Foster actually ran it well. He had a step. I think Brooks was just being safe and overthrew it just that much.
You get a guy like Foster, too, who's a big receiver at 6'2".
That's the key. Yeah,
you can sort of put some more air under it and let him go up and get it, rather than putting it more in a line there. Third and 10 now for the Tigers. Brooks again rolling to his right, going to tuck it in and run one more time, and this time he's wrapped up by the Wolfpack.
Yeah, Latin doing a good job that time to take away that right corner. Brooks has had 2 big runs on this drive, just going around that right side. Trying for another one, but this time it'll be a shorter game.
Tigers call a timeout here with 1:28 left to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, Kevin Gatson knows his team can get a bit of a chokehold in this game if they put another touchdown up before halftime.
Timeout on field, 1:28 left in the half. Feel free to use the concession stand and the beacon board. And for your tickets for the halftime show, Great Iron Club at the front entrance gate.
Boston Latin going to need to make a defensive stop here. Like you mentioned, O'Brien will be in full control of this game, and then they would receive to start the third quarter. So you're talking about being up 2 scores and getting the ball to start the third quarter. They would be in prime position to beat this Boston Latin team for the second year in a row if that happens. So here we go, 4th and 7 now for O'Brien. Looking to convert as they pitch it over to Ginty. Ginty makes another couple of nice moves as he's inside the 5-yard line.
Down to the 2-yard line.
Close to the 2-yard line, so that's going to be a first down for the Tigers.
That's, yeah, it was actually more like a lateral from our ankle. You see Gentry, good job with his running. He's trying to show so far from the backfield. Another timeout. Should be the last one for O'Brien.
Timeout O'Brien. 1:17 left in the half.
Timeout like this, actually, it's just as valuable to give your offensive linemen a chance to catch their breath, as well as the backs too, so everybody can execute. I mean, you're already excited because you're at the 2-yard line, and they're all thinking, okay, let's go up 2 touchdowns. But the main thing is execution. You want to make sure you can get the handoff, get that block without holding, that type of thing.
You mentioned the offensive line getting a breather. A lot of times you're that close to the goal line. You want your line to just fire off so that you can just plow forward.
Right.
And if they get a little breather here, that'll give them
they'll be ready.
A little bit more of a ready push to get that push up front.
It is amazing. We're first half, but this is a key play because, like you said, O'Brien's going to get the kickoff to start the second half. If they go up 2 touchdowns right here and get the ball, that puts Boston Latin in a real tough position. It'll be fun for us because I bet Thompson's got to throw the ball more. He's got an arm, definitely.
He does.
And Harris definitely has some speed out there.
First and goal now for the Tigers. They hand off to Ginty, and he
Wow.
tiptoes in for his 3rd touchdown of the first half.
Just like you called it, fire off that line. Those offensive linemen gave him a huge hole. From our angle, we could see exactly how that's set up. It's going to be another right side. Excellent block. Nobody touched him before he was in the end zone.
Also saw the receiver Jaden Smith.
Kevin Gatson. Yeah, just like I told you.
See what happens when you listen to me, guys?
Now you guys will believe me.
Now on the 2-point conversion, it's Brooks rolling to his right.
Nice job.
Got his receiver Maffeo for the 2-pointer.
Good job.
Quarterback to quarterback for the 2 points there. That puts the Tigers up by 16.
Yeah, it's interesting. Watch this one now. When we saw Maffeo, he's usually the quarterback, but this time he's in the slot. He runs a beautiful pattern. Man, quarterback to quarterback. We like seeing that. That's, all of a sudden, it just seems like O'Brien does have, they're going back to their old style of having some interchangeable parts. When you see a quarterback catch a pass for a 2-point conversion, that's how Kevin Gatson his whole career is like. He's had 12 years at O'Brien. Every year he's always tried to get his skilled players to be able to be very multifaceted.
Sure, interchangeable.
Yeah, wide receiver, flanker, deep back in the eye. He likes to run screens. He likes to run those out patterns. I mean, basically, he loves offense. He'll leave the defense to other coaches.
That's right.
Kevin, his whole career has loved offense.
Yeah, Mike Branch takes care of the defense for O'Brien. The Tigers now with a 16-point lead, 1:08 left to go here in the second quarter. And again, Boston Latin. And Brenzel misjudges that one. He fields it right around the 5-yard line. Then kneels on it. So I think Latin's just going to kneel on it as well here for the last minute and a half.
Yeah, that really shows that Brenzel's been told, you 100% careful. Because that was, he had room to.
You also wonder if his confidence is just shaking a little bit after fumbling that punt back in the first quarter.
Although, the rest of the game is still intact. He's still running hard from scrimmage.
Oh, yeah.
But you're right. It's a mind game as much as anything else. And he had a chance, going back to that first quarter fumble that he muffed. He had a lot of room in front of him. So, obviously, he was just waiting to catch the ball to hit a seam and, unfortunately, turned it over.
Wolfpack Hand it off to Brenzel there on first down.
They got to be careful with these handoffs.
They just got backed up to
I was just
about
going
the
to
3.
say, he loses 3 yards here. And another loss, they'll be giving up a safety. And to be safe, Thompson probably should just keep this and get whatever he can. Let the time run out. No sense in taking chances with any handoffs.
Thompson gets tackled.
He's close.
Right at the goal line. He's very close to a safety.
Yeah,
but
ran my play, but he did. It wasn't quite. I wouldn't even bother faking the handoff to Brenzel. O'Brien's defense, they want that safety. They're just going after. That's a tough situation there. That's going to be the half. That's right, because O'Brien had no more timeouts. Right. Normally they would call timeouts defensively to force the action.
Yeah, Latin probably lucky right there that they.
Very lucky because they were going backwards.
If they had to run one more play, there's a good chance they would have lost yardage on that one. So the O'Brien Tigers lead the Boston Latin Wolfpack 22-6 here at the half. And in the first half, we saw O'Brien really excel at opening up some holes for Curlin's Jainty. I mean, Coach Gadsden mentioned when we talked to him earlier in the week, we just want to open up some space so that he can find daylight. And we saw that in the first half.
That's exactly what happened. And like you said, coming into the game, some jitters on both sides with young players. You just weren't sure how you react to your first real varsity action. Latin did play a game last week against Cambridge Mission Latin, but this is O'Brien's first game of the season. So, like you said, really good showing in that first half. Kevin Gadsden's got to be proud of his young players.
No question.
Because even though there have been a few mistakes here and there, Gainty's running has been the leading factor. And then that interchange of quarterbacks has been interesting too. Creates some defensive confusion for Boston Latin.
No question. We'll see if Latin can make some halftime adjustments after seeing that quarterback change there for the Tigers. One of the coaches is down on the field with our sideline reporter, Seth Orensky. So, Seth, take it away.
Joined by Boston Latin coach Ray Butler. Coach, Roy Thompson's first start as a high school player. Obviously, he had a great touchdown pass. Hasn't been given a ton of time by the line. What is your message to him at the half?
Just keep working hard. It'll come. Just don't force things. Take your time. Do what we practice, and it'll come.
Defensively, outside of those big 2 plays that led to their first 2 touchdowns, you were able to hold them for the most part. And then that last drive, is that deflating for your defense because of how well they played to start the half after giving up 47 points last week?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's more deflating that you don't run your assignments. And, people are like, well, how did that get by? Everything's covered, and one guy misses his assignment. So that's kind of the deflating part. And, now they got to lift each other up.
Special teams, you had that great return on the opening kickoff, and then the fumble getting the ball right back. It's been kind of a mixed draw for you guys. How do you fix that a little bit in the second half to maybe keep this game a little bit more even in that part of the game?
You get more experience, I mean, see how much we can get that figured out at the halftime, though. It's just do your best, make a good decision, and don't make things worse.
Coach, good luck in the second half. Hopefully they can find some experience in the halftime locker room. Guys, take it away.
Seth, thanks very much. And certainly Coach Butler, obviously frustrated, but he also knows that he's got some guys banged up on the sideline, and several of them are inexperienced, including his starting left tackle. He's got a running back that could spell Brenzel once in a while that is also out in the game. So, it certainly is rough coming into a week when you've got some injured guys. Then you injure a few more guys. You're already down a few players. You don't have a lot of experience with some of these guys. And
that's the key.
I think his expectations are probably set where he understands that mistakes are going to be made.
Well, like he just said to Seth, he said twice about guys missing assignments. So even though you are on demand, you have a lot of inexperience, through practice, the players know what their assignments are. So he's just asking them, keep it simple. Just do whatever position you're in, whether you're a linebacker, a defensive lineman, a defensive back, just do what you're supposed to do. And I think that if he can just get his players to calm down and not react so excitedly and just play their positions, they will be better, because Kevin Gadsden on the O'Brien sideline saw something in that Latin defensive alignment on the left side. They had the quarterback, they have two quarterback keepers for big yardage to lead to one of the touchdowns. So those are the type of situations that Ray Butler's talking about.
We'll see if they can make those adjustments here at the half. Now, of course, covering Boston Latin School here at White Stadium, and over the years here in Boston, a lot of different charities have sprung up over certain tragedies in the field of sport. When you talk about Pete Frady's, the MR8 Foundation here for Martin Richard, and another charity that started a couple of years ago was Anna's Pals, and it was right out of the Boston Latin School from the Jerome family. So we're going to take a look at that story right now. No one likes to stay at the hospital, especially young children. But thanks to Anna's Pals, stays for families at Boston Children's Hospital are made a little easier.
So Anna's Pal tries to make the stay at Children's Hospital more comfortable for the kids and for the families. So they'll help with parking costs for families coming to visit.
We bring pillows and sheets and blankets and toys and games and activities and other fun things for the kids to do while they're in the hospital.
It really helps support everyone through the process and try to make it go as well as it possibly can.
Anna's Pals is a nonprofit organization founded by the family and friends of Anna Jerome, a former student athlete at Boston Latin.
She loved the school. She loved everything it had to offer. She was on the swim team, she was on the track team, she excelled in academics, math being her favorite subject. She just loved everything.
She was definitely very bubbly and always happy, and she could always cheer anybody up no matter what was going on. She was the right person. She knew what to say to everybody at the right time.
At the young age of 14, Anna was diagnosed with AML, an aggressive form of leukemia. After her diagnosis, she began treatments at Children's Hospital.
She gave herself one day to cry about it, and she just said, all right, now we're just going to do this. We're going to do what they tell us so we can get out of here.
Friends and family all pitched in when Anna was being treated, including her Boston Latin School classmate and twin brother, Will, who was a football player for the Boston Latin Wolfpack.
Her guidance counselor, Miss Wong, made sure that Will was in all the same classes as Anna, so his coach would let him be late for practice. He'd leave school, run to Children's, which was across the street, give her homework and her assignments, and bolt back to practice.
But while her kind spirit never wavered, the aggressive leukemia took its toll. On October 2nd, 2014, Anna Jerome passed away at Boston Children's Hospital.
Obviously, after that happens with someone, everybody wants to do something, and we were trying to put our heads together, what can we do?
Right after she passed away, her best friend Maggie came over with just an orange t-shirt and it said Anna's Pals on it, and that was just kind of the beginning of it all. We were just like, oh, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a better situation out of what we were dealt.
You know, Anna's Pals just kind of came in, it gave us all a focus. So instead of wandering around aimlessly, it just gave us all some way to focus on something and to be positive about the experience instead of, moping around about Anna. Put her name to good use and think positively of her and share with others how great she was.
Along with Anna's friends and family, Boston Latin School pitched in to help develop their newly formed nonprofit organization.
We just figured that this was the cause that we wanted to rally around. We've done some Coaches versus Cancer things. We've raised money for a variety of nonprofits, a variety of causes, but this one's so close to home that we wanted to hitch our wagons to this one. Girls basketball, girls volleyball, boys and girls lacrosse, you name it, that raise money for Anna's Pals consistently throughout the year, whether it's gate receipts from a game or certain fundraisers that they run, food sales during games.
But perhaps the biggest assist to Anna's Pals came from the Boston Latin football team, who were a natural fit to help the newly found organization.
My first year, Will was a senior captain, and one of the things I had said to the team is we're going to look for some community work and find a charity to be involved with, and that was just a natural fit.
The partnership between Anna's Pals and the Boston Latin football program has gone on to become a huge success. The football team's different drives and fundraisers have helped the nonprofit expand their reach of helping patients at Boston Children's Hospital. And the Wolfpack have learned life lessons that reach far beyond the high school football field.
Here, the first year with Will there, we had maybe 5-6 boxes full of candy, so we couldn't lift them up. And then later that year, we did a video game drive, and we collected the games, and then they went and they
sold all the games to EB or whatever the name, GameSpot, whatever it is nowadays. And they got a gift card so then they could buy the game that they wanted to fit the system for the kids that are at stay at Children's.
There's teenagers in Children's and they have, you know, little kid games. So unfortunately I bought Call of Duty and those kinds of games for those kids because the older kids wanted to play them and they didn't have them. So that was nice to have that.
It doesn't take a lot from you to really give to someone else and to make someone else's day a little bit better, you know, and I hope they learn that as one of the lessons as we try to build their character and build their sense of community.
In addition to making an impact in the lives of Children's Hospital patients, Boston Latin's football program's participation also made an impact on one of their own.
I didn't realize how kind of much it meant to Will, and I think neither did his mom until Danny V did an article on him, and it was the first time I guess he really talked about it. And so it was, you know, it meant a lot to his family to hear, wow, we're really hearing his feelings. And it meant a lot to me and us as a coaching staff to see that we could help facilitate this for you, Will, and to have you come to terms as best you can with all this and have a positive outlet for dealing with your loss.
His teammates in the football team really helped Will cope with everything that happened, and his teammates were, he couldn't be home with us, we were too hard for him to deal with, but his football teammates were really what kept him going and gave him some focus.
Now, almost 4 years after Anna's Pals' conception, the nonprofit organization has continued to evolve. Along with its steadfast support of the families at Boston Children's, Anna's Pals has their sights set on a new project that will impact the children they serve for years to come.
Their long-term goal is to raise enough money to form this beach house, to construct from the ground up, basically an immune-safe beach house for these kids with bad respiratory systems, cancer, all those sort of things.
You can't use a public bathroom because of the chemo wipes out your immune system, so you can't be around anything that's not specifically cleaned and designed for the safety of these kids. So Anna's Pals would like to build a beach house for these kids so they can have a place to go, so these families can regroup and revisit each other and really have some quality time together.
So we want to have a beach house that everyone can go to and the families can spend quality time together and make some good memories. It'll really just be great for all the kids and for the community. I feel like everyone will just feel really bound together, and it will feel really great to put our name to good use and not just like say, oh yeah, this, like my sister passed away, but be like, no, we have this whole organization that helps so many kids that were like her.
Just another outstanding charitable organization here in the city of Boston. Anna's Pals doing a lot of great work over there at Children's Hospital, and they will continue to do that for years to come. O'Brien on top of Boston Latin 22-6 here at the half, and one of the biggest reasons is Curlin's Jeanty. Here's some highlights of him in the first half.
Oh yeah, Jeanty's been running hard the entire half. This was the first touchdown. You see straight out speed as he outruns both safeties and gets into the end zone. Also tacked on the 2-point conversion to get O'Brien off to a great start. Again, good hard running inside, doesn't mind, this is a screen, really well-designed play. Gets a good block downfield and takes advantage by taking that one into the end zone. Again, hard running again, gets almost as caught in the backfield, turns that into another first down. Running through arm tackles, screen pass, little flip there, and again, hit, but keeps going forward. Easy touchdown as good blocking up front by O'Brien, offensive lineman.
Yeah, 3 total touchdowns in the first half there for Curlin's Jeanty. Let's take a look at the halftime stats here before we get going in the third quarter. And first up, it's going to be the Boston Latin Wolfpack.
Wolfpack, Brenzel, 9 carries, 32 yards, has their lone touchdown so far. Thompson, the quarterback, is actually the backup running back because we've only seen the 2 of them run the ball so far because of injury. All right, receiving that one bomb that wide receiver Harris did get. Beautiful play as he ran by the cornerback for 41 yards, and that is the only completion so far for Latin in the game. 1 for 5 for that 41 yards.
Let's take a look at O'Brien's halftime stats.
Much more spread out. You see Brooks, 40 yards on 4 carries. Jeanty, 39 yards, 12 carries with 2 touchdowns. Also receiving, Jeanty has that screen pass, which was for a touchdown. Rafael caught the 3-yard, 2-point conversion, even though he's normally a quarterback, but played some wide receiver. And then, of course, Brooks, 3 for 6, 56 yards, and that touchdown pass to Jeanty.
That's right. So a lot of innovative offense going on there in the first half for the O'Brien Tigers we'll see if they keep that up here in the second half. Meanwhile, for Boston Latin, they sort of just got to get their feet under them. You know, they've had a couple of turnovers. You mentioned the muffed punt, the turnover in the first possession of the game. You know, I think Thompson's kind of gotten himself together, but now he needs some positive plays out of this offense.
You know, Pat, I really thought that long pass to Harris was going to get Thompson really fired up and get him going, but unfortunately some other mistakes on defense, mainly for Latin, has put him in this big 16-point hole. But you're right, Thompson definitely has an arm. There's no doubt about that. He's put the ball downfield. He's only 1 for 5, but that one was the big 41-yarder to set up their only score.
That's right. So we'll see if they can get anything going here in the second half, or if the Tigers will continue their dominance there on the offensive side of the ball. Folks, we're going to head to break real quick. When we come back, we'll have the opening kickoff here of the third quarter at White Stadium here on Game of the Week right after these messages. Don't go away.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
About inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to White Stadium here in Jamaica Plain for our Game of the Week as the O'Brien Tigers lead the Boston Latin Wolfpack 22-6. Folks, if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Game of the Week Boston. A lot of good stuff up on that page. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Just about set to start the second half here at White Stadium. Boston Latin going to be kicking off. Back to receive for the Tigers is Anton Foster, and he brings it back over the left side for O'Brien. He's then shoved out of bounds right around the 35-yard line.
You see a bouncing ball. Foster does a good job to take his time to make sure he corrals it, then gets what he can. A little old-fashioned stiff arm on Brenzel.
Just a 6-yard return there for Foster. As O'Brien will take over at the 32-yard line.
Well, Pat, like we said at the halftime, this first series possession may tell us a lot about how the second half is going to go. If the defense for Boston Latin can force a 3-and-out, or at least hold their own, then we may still have a game.
Brooks under center again, or rather in the shotgun formation as Ginty gets bottled up on first down.
Nice start by the Latin defense. Linebacker came up in good shape that time, Anthony Philemon. Watching 53, he's going to come from the right of your screen. There he is. Also his teammate, Arthur Macedo. One of the few times you see O'Brien throwing for a loss in the running play.
2nd and 11 now for the Tigers. It's Ginty again. This time finds some room, makes his way past the 35, or right at the 35.
Again, they had simple handoffs, slant plays. We saw that in the entire first half. And Ginty ended up with a couple of running touchdowns as well as 39 yards total. This quarterback rotation thing is really interesting, though, between Maffeo and Brooks. Brooks ended up getting most of the snaps. I mean, he started with it. Started like the end of the first quarter. And then the entire second quarter, Brooks was in the backfield.
3rd and 6 now for the Tigers. They try to flip it over to their receiver, and that's Jaden Smith. Turning the corner down the sideline. Smith's going to go into the end zone for a touchdown. We have a flag on the backside of the play, so that probably is going to come back 60 yards if it stands.
The late flag, too. Looks like it's going to be a hold. Excuse me.
We've got a holding call, number 14 on O'Brien.
Holding on the offense is going to bring that play back.
Going to go 10 yards from the spot of the foul, repeat 3rd down.
Okay, so Antoine Foster, the receiver, is called for a hold. I'll tell you that, well, it broke open. I thought it was because the cornerback took the wrong angle. Okay, there's the block. Looks okay. Well,
there you go.
Yeah, they're tugging each other.
Towards the end.
They're both were tugging at each other, so the flag does come down. But that was good speed. The play by Jaden Smith.
Yeah, Smith had a couple of touchdown catches a year ago for the Tigers. Not from this young man, though. Michael Brooks back in at quarterback for O'Brien here to start the 3rd quarter. And I'm just surprised to see him getting this much time, as good as Luke Maffeo and as much experience as Luke Maffeo has.
I know. Well, they're both juniors, so they looking toward the future as well as just this season.
Run an option play there, and DeAndre Harris comes up for the stop for the Wolfpack.
Well, obviously the penalty helped, but good job on that 3rd down play. Yeah, part of the problem with that one was Brooks never even looked at Ginty for the possible pitch. Make the defenders guess at who's going to keep it. But good coverage to force a 4th down.
Kane Kaba back to punt for the Tigers. Brenzel back to receive.
Now let's see if he has permission to return it, because he might have a lot of room.
Kaba with a spiraling punt that rolls down to the 35-yard line. That one not quite as fieldable there for Brenzel. You also wonder if Coach Butler might think about putting somebody else back there, not because Brenzel's not good enough, but
he's
just
the workhorse.
Brenzel's getting so much work. He's a kick returner. He plays defense. He's the free safety.
Yeah.
You know, maybe put Marchie back there, who has a kick return for a touchdown, or another player who has some experience.
No, I'm with you on that, especially given the fact that you're not allowing Brenzel to return them. But let's remember, the last week in the first game, Latin scored 37 points.
That's right.
So they can put some numbers up. They just got to put some big plays together.
Thompson over the middle on 1st down, looking for Marchie, but was unable to get it to him.
Trying a quick slant play to Marchie. Like you said, he had a big game last week, but hasn't had many opportunities at all.
Yeah, I think they're trying to just possibly get Marchie the ball.
That's got to be one of the things they talked about at halftime, because they were limited to mainly just Brenzel and Thompson.
2nd and 10 now, is Thompson going to take it himself. This time he's got some room. Thompson fights his way up to the 45-yard line, and a 1st down for Boston Latin.
Nice run by Thompson, made possible by the fake to Brenzel. Today, they faked that sweep to Brenzel, which opened up a little bit of room. That's all Thompson needed. So Boston Latin showing some life on both sides of the ball, forcing the punt, and now getting close to midfield.
Now from their own 46, this time it's Brenzel who gets the handoff, trying to find the edge. Cuts back up nicely up the middle. Brenzel bounces to the outside. Ulysses Brenzel dragged down by Jaden Smith inside the 20-yard line.
Well, biggest play of the game for Brenzel, 44 yards. And you've got to like the way he ran this, Pat. Patience here to get around the corner. Watch this cut. He's going to plant. Boom. Plants right there. Cuts, runs through an arm tackle. Another cut. And that was just a matter, can Smith left side of your screen, Jaden with that blazing speed did run him down, but that's the kind of effort you need. And now to your point, who else can handle the ball for Latin, because Brenzel's going to be worn out. Love these cuts, though. Love these cuts.
We even saw that after Brenzel had that big kickoff return back in the second quarter. They went away from giving him the ball. Brenzel gets it here, and he stopped right in his tracks about a yard past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, there's got to be somebody else who can take a handoff. Got to be. Look at him. Get his hands on his hip. He's dead tired, and you can't blame him. But he's also got the adrenaline going, saying, listen, let's get into the end zone because we'll make it a game again. Yeah, Thompson might run this one just to give him a break.
Now on second down, it is Thompson who takes it himself. Thompson off the edge, looking for the sideline, and he shoved out of bounds at the 6.
If you only have those two guys, just alternate. You can fake the handoff every play, or you can give it to them. Just see what the defense is doing. So they fake that handoff. See that the end came across looking for Brenzel. Thompson was able to slide inside of him. Good job by Thompson. Well, I tell you, Pat, if they can score here, the key is that it will be so early in the third quarter that they can possibly make it a 2-score game. If they can get the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. This is Thompson.
Fake Thompson gets wrapped up in the backfield, back in the 10-yard line.
Yeah, that looked like it was some kind of a miscommunication between Brenzel and Thompson. Now watch this one. So they're serving their own way. It looked like Brenzel wanted the ball, but Thompson somehow got caught behind him. So we got a key play here. 4th and 4. No, it's more than 4. Fourth and
7.
4th and like 7, right, yeah.
So Latin calls a timeout here with 5:22 left to go in the third quarter.
Now this is where you have to say, okay, what's worked so far? You've had Brenzel, but a lot of what he's done has been on his own. Thompson might just have to throw this ball.
As we have a timeout down on the field, folks. Next week, we'll be right back here at White Stadium, same time, same station, for another exam school rivalry game as the Latin Academy Dragons visit, in quotations, the Boston Latin Wolfpack. Both these teams share White Stadium, but it will be a home game for Boston Latin next week. They're at White Stadium at Friday, September 20th at 7 p.m. Dragons taking on the Wolfpack. That'll be live on Boston City TV, so make sure you tune in for that next Friday.
Well, let's see what Latin can come up with. They know, well, Coach Ray Butler definitely knows if we score here, we're right back in it.
4th and 7. They can get a first down if they get it, looks like inside the 3-yard line or so. Thompson back to throw, looking over the left side.
Nice
He's
catch.
got his receiver over the middle. Harrison for a touchdown.
Pat, I thought he overthrew it. I thought he threw it behind him, but that was an excellent catch. Give some credit to his receiver, Harris. It's Harris again, yeah. He's the guy. I mean, There was so much on this throw, and it was slightly behind him. He went up. That's when you talk about going up and get it. You mentioned his size in the first half. That was a perfect example of what you're talking about.
So Latin now looking for the two-point conversion. Down by 10. They can cut it to a one-score game.
They have Harris this time set up on the right side.
Thompson now takes it over the left side, but he's not going to get towards the
Yeah, it was supposed
end
to be.
zone.
That was the reverse play when they faked the handoff going right to Brenzel and had Thompson cut back. But O'Brien did a good job defensively, staying in their areas to prevent that. So there's the
Here's
fake.
a replay of the touchdown.
There's a touchdown here. But watch this one. Watch him go up and get that. Then at the 5-yard line, break a tackle to scamper in. That was key because if he gotten tackled at the 5, it would have been turned the ball over and downs. But good play by Harris. He zipped this one. I like the way he went. It was a little behind him. He just went and got it. They understood that he had to get more yardage.
Harris has now been targeted 5 times in this game, 2 receptions for 50 yards. One of them a long 40-yard connection, that one a touchdown. 10-point game now as Latin with a short kick that's fielded right around the 35-yard line. Couldn't quite see who was bringing that back. I think it was Smith.
Yeah.
It's dropped at the 43.
We got some interesting
Both players are fighting for the ball at the bottom of the pile.
Latin's claiming that there was a loose ball before the touchdown, before the tackle. Well, they were trying to pull the ball out. Yep, yeah. Now you have an excited Boston Latin sideline. And they always have a big crowd. Get the band going. Now it's something to cheer about.
We'll see how the Tigers respond here with 5:03 left to go in the third quarter. On first down, it's Brooks back to throw. He's looking deep down the left side. He's got Foster. That's going to be a pass interference.
Yeah,
it's Ahern down the left
too bad
side.
Because Ahern didn't realize he actually had good coverage. But because he didn't turn around to look for the ball, just flailed his arms and interfered with the opportunity to catch. Now in high school, it's just a 15-yard penalty from scrimmage. But you had O'Brien taking advantage of one-on-one coverage.
Defensive pass interference against Latin. 15-yard penalty will result in a first down. Number 20, Franklin.
You watch Ahern, see he has decent coverage, but he doesn't realize that the ball's in the air. So therefore, once he made that contact before the ball got there, it's automatic, easy call. He had 2 flags come out real quick.
Just a 15-yard penalty. Gives O'Brien the ball at the 43 of Boston Latin.
I'd say we've covered enough of Kevin Gadsden's games to know that's not a surprise at all. He wants to get right back at you.
And now the Tigers need to call a timeout here with 4:26 left to go in the third quarter. So these types of timeout, I mean, you just had a long penalty. These are the types of timeouts you got to use in that first game of the season because not everything is 100% firing on all cylinders. Our sideline reporter, Seth Orensky's got an update for us. Seth, what do you have down there?
Thanks, guys. Going into the year, the one constant we thought we would see for O'Brien on the offense was Luke Maffeo, but Kevin Gadsden might have been playing a little bit of cat and mouse. Michael Brooks was the player that they planned to use at QB today. There's not an injury to Maffeo because while I've been over on that sideline a couple times, they've been upset with Maffeo for not necessarily being in the right spot as he adjusts to a slightly different role in offense when he's not the quarterback. So this is something they game planned for. They drew up, and Brooks is not only the quarterback right now, but he's also the mic on the defense, relaying plays and adjustments. So he is a junior playing a very big role for O'Brien tonight. Guys?
Thanks very much, Seth. 4 for 7 for 93 yards through the air is Brooks, as they see Maffeo over on the sideline.
Yeah, and Brooks has had those 2 huge runs leading to scores for O'Brien.
Now on first down, it's Brooks. Nowhere to go with it. Running for his life, now tries to escape over the right side. That's going to be a block in the back, I thought.
Yeah, it should be.
They missed the tackle on Brooks. He cuts it back up the middle of the field. Now reversing his field. Brooks still on his feet. Finally wrapped up at the 40.
He ran about 70 yards to get 4 yards. But yeah, I agree with you.
They missed the block in the back.
Wow, that would have been huge for Latin because it would have been from the spot of the foul. Watch this. Left of your screen, you'll see it.
It's going to be on Harris there, number 16.
Good protection, but
Jason
now Brooks.
I got caught in the middle.
Using that speed of his. Yeah, I think that anytime a player reverses field like that, the officials themselves get out of position. Because they definitely just running at the right angle to catch that.
2nd and 7 now for the Tigers. The handoff to Ginty over the left side, and Ginty finds some daylight. Ginty down the sideline. His 4th touchdown of the night for Curlin's Ginty.
Touchdown, Tigers.
And that, again, we've talked about Ginty. Once he breaks the line of scrimmage, you've got problems defensively. And he ran through an arm tackle, tiptoed the sideline because he was close to getting out of bounds, but really good speed once he has some open space. That's a bit of it's a tired Latin off defense also.
You get a lot of guys in that squad going both ways. Ginty now with 84 yards on the ground tonight to go along with his 4 touchdowns. And now the Tigers are going to cap that touchdown off with a 2-point conversion. Brooks looking over the middle. It's intercepted in the end zone by Will Marchie. So they keep it a 2-score game now, down by 16 to Boston Latin.
You see on the replay, good job by Marchi to step inside.
You see Coach Gadsden.
You know, this emotional roller coaster for Boston Latin just keeps on going. High, get a good defensive stop in the 3rd quarter, get the ball back, score. Now give up a couple of big plays, and before you know it, you're down 2 scores again. And the problem with the Latins had is with both their touchdowns, they haven't been able to convert the 2 points on either one. Well, they tried for the extra point, a kick on the first one.
Yeah, a bad
the second
snap.
one, they just couldn't make it. So they've actually, when you think about it, it's almost the equivalent of being down 3 scores because when they do get another touchdown, they've got to go for 2. And they're going to make it to get that much closer to a 1-score game.
Squibb kick down the middle of the field. It's fielded by Marchie. Will Marchie looking for some space. Bounces off 1 tackle. Is then crunched at the 34-yard line.
I think we may see Thompson. You see Marchie get one of the few times he's actually handled the ball all day. Tries to get to the sideline. Gets like a 15-yard return. I just think that Harris, that big wide receiver, has got to be a key guy in this series. We are still in the 3rd quarter, but they've got to put some points on the board quickly.
Now on first down from their own 35, it's Brenzel again getting the carry. And he falls forward to the 38-yard line, so a 3-yard pickup there on first down.
Simple handoff. That's what we've seen all day. Either Brenzel or Thompson have been the only ball carriers.
Brenzel carry brought down by Amari Rivas.
Thompson looking to go to the air, fires one down the field, but it's too far for Marchie.
Trying to Machi, yeah. Well, you called it, Pat. You said this half they have to go to Machi. He had some success last week, and this is the Thompson has an arm. That one he just airmailed, but. And again, that's part of the problem. When you're down like this, you're down a couple of scores, and you're just so anxious. A lot of times quarterbacks who don't have a lot of throwing experience will tend to overthrow. And we've seen that a couple of times, actually.
Yeah, Thompson's targeted Marchie 3 times so far in this game, but hasn't been able to connect on either one of those. 3rd and 7 now for the Wolfpack, and that one gets deflected into the air and falls incomplete. So Latin will have to punt here on 4th down.
See, the real problem that Latin has is that O'Brien is just watching wherever Benzel goes. And even on that play, a lineman had actually floated out into underneath coverage against Benzel. You see, it was that 50. I'm sorry, that's a linebacker, 52. He actually ran out there to get coverage.
Izabazua also in there to tip the pass from Thompson. So Brenzelvi up back. As it's Dadish back to kick. This time gets a much better punt off. And that'll roll down to about the 26-yard line. So 36-yard punt that time for Dadish. Two minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter as O'Brien's on top of Boston Latin 28-12.
Yeah, looking at the rest of the season, first of all, you got to wonder how many of those injuries are, things that guys can bounce back from for Latin, and that'll be a huge help, obviously. And then, like we said, next week Latin Academy. Okay, that these damn school rivalries keep on going.
Now on 1st down, Brooks.
Oh!
Almost intercepted as Ahern got the jump on the route.
Not only almost intercepted, Pat, that was almost a pick 6. He timed it perfectly. Matter of fact, it looked like I think the receiver grabbed him to prevent. Yeah, the receiver going for the ball actually knocked it down himself. Boy, Brooks had to. That's one that Kevin Gatson will talk to him about. You don't just throw it out there blindly, assuming that your guy is open. Now, Ahern did take a big chance to try to cut in front like that, right, but it was the right play.
Because if Smith caught that,
that would have been he could have walked away, right?
Now on 2nd down is Ginty with the carry, and he's wrapped up.
Yeah, one of the few times, again, he's held to a short gain.
Yeah, brought down right around the 29-yard line.
With the carry down to the 29-yard line.
Yeah, we haven't seen him stopped by the first player all game. That time, good job by Leonardo.
So 3rd down and a long 7 here for the O'Brien Tigers. Pitcher over the left side to Ginty. And
good defense.
He is tripped up right around the 30.
Looks like Machi got in there, came up from the safety spot. That time, that was a lateral there, so. Good. Oh, that's a Ahern, too. Ahern and Machi, yeah. So the safety and the cornerback. Good job forcing a 3 and out by Latin's defense.
Just what Latin needed on that possession. Caba back to kick now for the Tigers. Gets off a spiraling punt that rolls back to about the 33-yard line. So with just over 20 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter, Latin will get the football back. And I think that's actually the end of the third quarter. Three down, one to go here at White Stadium as the O'Brien Tigers lead the Boston Latin Wolfpack 28-12. Latin's got a lot of work to do if they want to get back in this one. We'll see if they can as they start off the fourth quarter with the football. But Curlin's Ginty has been a stud so far for the Tigers. 4 touchdowns on the night for him. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter here on Game of the Week.
Green hat, red hat, oops. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt, oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants, oops.
Welcome back to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain for Game of the Week as the Boston Latin Wolfpack trail the O'Brien Tigers 28-12 here at White Stadium. Boston Latin starting off the fourth quarter with the football after forcing a 3-and-out by the Tigers.
They're ready to go. They jumped on the field right into formation, no huddle. Got to look for Harris downfield.
Thompson looking for Leonardo, but he was unable to hang on to it. It was broken up by a couple of defensive backs for the Tigers.
Yeah, Leonardo's a big target. That one looked like it might have been thrown slightly behind him, but again, like you said, good coverage.
Second and 10 now for Boston Latin. This time it's Thompson trying to take it himself, and he gets wrapped up in the backfield.
Yeah, the last few times we've seen Latin try that fake to Brenzel and Thompson sneaking through the middle, just not working. O'Brien is keying on both those guys.
Thompson stopped in the back here.
Sean Vassell again getting in there for the sack.
Yeah, you're right, because even though it's a running play, the fact that you're getting the quarterback behind the line of scrimmage, you get credit for a sack.
He's now got 3 on the night for the Tigers. Thompson on third down, tries to get it over to Brenzel, and the ball again falls incomplete.
Each time Latins try to screen pass, the rush has just been too quick before the screen can develop, and the same thing happened again.
I know it's early here in the fourth quarter, but at what point do you think Coach Butler starts going for it on fourth down, even in his own territory?
Oh, yeah, I think next possession. Because
they're going to punt here.
Obviously, first things first, you got to stop O'Brien. But once you stop them, I think you're absolutely right. I think everything's 4-down territory from there.
Dadish again back to kick. It's another solid punt off this time as that rolls out of bounds. They're going to mark it down at the 48-yard line. So about a 26-yard punt there for Dadish.
Well, we talked about Latin playing Latin Academy next week. O'Brien travels up to Charlestown next week, Friday afternoon, to play the Townies. Now, I'll tell you, coming off this performance so far, Kevin Gatson and his Coach Branch, the rest of them must be feeling pretty good. We got a bunch of questions answered in terms of what they expect from some of the young players. Who can you really look for to lead the way? Obviously, Genty.
And they hand it off to Genty here on first down. Runs over a defender on that play and makes his way up to the Boston Latin 47-yard line. Make that the 48. Genty's getting up gingerly.
He is. Well, he's
Genty with the carry. Down to the 47-yard line.
Might even have a cramp.
I think he's going to take a play off here. Oh, he stays in. He's trying to work it out. He's also a junior, so when you look at this O'Brien team, it's interesting. They're full of juniors, especially with the skill guys. The two quarterbacks, Genty.
Genty on the doorstep of reaching the century mark for rushing yards in this one. Now in 2nd and 5, it's Genty again with the carry. This time plows forward for about a yard up to the 46.
You know, Pat, I think this is one of the few times that a player won't care about 100 yards because he got those 4 touchdowns already.
Right. Well, his fantasy numbers are way up. So 96 rushing yards and 2 catches for 30 yards for Genty, but one of his offensive linemen is now down on the field at the 45-yard line.
As we mentioned, there's some questions being answered. The preview for O'Brien this year had a lot to really focused on inexperience and having to depend on a lot of inexperienced players almost at every position, other than quarterback. Quarterback, they're pretty much set. We all assumed that Mateo was going to just step right in and take over, but now we've had this new little wrinkle here with Brooks playing so much quarterback. He's actually played more than Mateo has this game. But again, when you really think about it, it shouldn't be that much of a surprise because Kevin Gatson over the years has always
had a wrinkle.
He's always moved his players around. Always moved. When he sees a guy with skills, running, ability to catch the ball or throw the ball, he's, like you said, always put wrinkles in that allow his skill guys to sort of maximize what they can do. And this is a perfect example of it, having Brooks play a quarterback so much in this first game of the season. I mean, if you're scouting O'Brien now, now you got a lot more to think about. And anytime you're talking about Brooks, who appears to be a very good runner also with those 2 big runs he had in the first half, that's another sort of weapon that you got to think about when you're getting ready for O'Brien.
O'Brien offensive lineman now sitting up. Certainly looking at his leg. I still can't see which player it was. It's a lineman in the 60s. Could be Kendrick Wilhite, who is it is Kendrick Wilhite, who is a returning starting offensive lineman. That's going to be a tough loss if they lose him right here. Looks like he's going to be okay.
You're right.
For the moment.
He's one of the few returning offensive linemen with decent experience.
Hopefully that's not too serious of an injury. The fact that he's walking off is a good sign.
I mean, he might be done for this game, but looks like he's
3, 8, 4.
He'll be okay.
1, 4, 0. That's 3, 8, 4, 1, 4, 0. If you won the Gridiron Club raffle, go to the front gate at the entrance and claim your prize.
The Tigers will be faced with a 3rd and 4. Make that a 3rd and long 3. They've got to get to the 43-yard line for a first down. Brooks escapes the tackle. Brooks going to the outside, stiff arms Ahern, and is then dropped out of bounds right around the 41-yard line. That's a first down for the Tigers. That's a big first down.
Well, again, running quarterback. Brooks fakes the handoff to Ginty, and Harris just couldn't corral him in the backfield. Yes, that running ability. It's like the 5th stiff arm we've seen in this game. It's almost a lost art. You do it correctly because you can't grab the face mask because there's a penalty.
It's really just a push.
But you get exactly. It's got to be a push, and does that pretty well.
Michael Brooks, very productive carrying the football tonight. It's a different ball carrier for O'Brien. It's Izabazua with the carry, who's moving the pile past the 35-yard line up to the 33.
That's the beauty of having a controlled running offense. Kevin Gatson right now can just hand the ball off, get 3 or 4 yards a play, and chalk up first downs and kill the clock.
Second down and 4 now for the Tigers.
Down to the 48 line.
They give it to Izabazua again, and he bounces off another defender. Makes his way past the 30-yard line and up to the 28, make that the 29.
Again, same play that Jensen's been running all game. This time Izabazua, good second effort. Gets him the first down. So back-to-back plays and gives Jensen a chance to get back in the game.
Coming up on 7 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Now on first down, Tigers have Brooks pull it in himself. And Brooks cuts back up the middle of the field and now is going to be shoved out of bounds.
Yeah, Brooks, deceiving runner. I mean, a couple of times we've seen him juke the defensive lineman, watch Leonardo. He's supposed to protect that outside, and Brooks just beat him back to the inside. Nice game by the quarterback. I mean, you know, a running quarterback is just such a weapon. Anytime he's back there with the ball, he has a strong arm to get it downfield, but he's actually more of a threat with his legs.
We've seen him do it a lot tonight. Averages about 7 yards a run is Brooks. Now they throw the screen pass over the right side. I believe that was Jaden Smith. Got the reception there, makes his way past the 15.
Another first down. Wide receiver screen. Nice. Oh, good fake by Smith to get that extra yardage for the first down.
Brooks now over 100 yards passing here this evening. On first down from the 14-yard line. Handed off to Ginty as he tries to get to the edge. Ginty fighting his way forward, makes his way up to the 11-yard line. Clock continues to wind down to 5 minutes left to go.
Yeah, we're seeing a worn down Latin defense at this point. As Ginty, even though they're really keen on him, it's still tough to try to get him down with just one tackler.
So Ginty now at 99 yards on the ground this evening. Izabazua, the deep back. There's Brooks, the quarterback. Maffeo back in as a slot receiver. They give it to Izabazua, who fights his way forward up to the 7-yard line.
Well, obviously, game like this, Boston Latin, a lot of work to do last week. A different type of game. They lost that one 47-37. Obviously, it's score fest, right? This one less so, but some good things to build on. But like you said early on, you got to find another running back, someone else to help take that load, take some of the load.
Izabazua this time stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. One good thing for Latin next week is I believe Matt Susich, the original starting quarterback to start the year, should be back.
Should be back, right. They're hoping. Believe me, all the fingers are crossed on that one, right? Because they'll open up some other things. Then you move Thompson to a different position.
That's right.
He's much more of a threat.
Then maybe Thompson can carry the ball a little bit. We saw him run the ball well today. We'll get a chance to see what kind of improvements the Wolfpack can make next week when they take on Latin Academy. If they're sick of seeing him Maffeo, they're going to have to get used to it because Luke's twin brother, Zach, is the starting quarterback for Latin Academy.
A false start on the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. We'll repeat 4th down.
Yeah, too anxious on that 4th down play for O'Brien trying to get another touchdown.
It'll back the Tigers up 5.
Yeah, but overall, Kevin Gatson and the rest of his crew, they've got to be. I got to wonder, are they surprisingly happy? Or
right.
Are they just, okay, worked out? I mean, because when you have an experienced player, especially in football, because it's such a physical game, you never know how they're going to react. And to their credit, these O'Brien Tigers have reacted really well tonight.
I think it was Latin that time that jumped offside, so
Yeah.
Tigers will get those 5 yards back.
Yeah, this is winding down. A little sloppy play.
Sides,
Some tired players.
Defense, 5 yards from the previous
on the
spot.
O'Brien
We'll
side,
repeat
this is their
4th down.
first game, so their first real game action. Latin does have last week under their belt, but like you said, you got so many players playing both ways. It's
One thing that I'm surprised by here with O'Brien is there you see the offsides on the Wolfpack. Despite seeing a couple of penalties here late, O'Brien hasn't really had that many
you're right.
for their first game of the season, especially going against a team that already has a game under their belt. Handed off to Izabazua, who gets knocked head over heels inside the 5.
He tried to dive backwards into the end zone, but caught short.
That is a first down, however, for the O'Brien Tigers.
And watch him, good effort. And watch him turn and look like a high jumper. I mean, when you really look at this, it's a nice, solid win for O'Brien.
No question.
I mean, it was close throughout the first quarter. Going into the half, they pretty much took control. And like you said, coaches love to see inexperienced players not get a lot of penalties. And that's exactly what the Tigers have done. This little wrinkle with the quarterback is going to be interesting the rest of this season. Because now they got moved to, Division 7 now.
Yeah, so they're essentially division up.
Right, yeah.
From last year after being in Division 8 for a while. So,
good
Tigers.
Start. I tell you, I mean,
Coach Gadsden's going to be think.
He's got to be. I mean, and obviously the concern about the possible injury to the offensive lineman, but besides that, everything else. O'Brien's been known for offense the entire 12 years that Gadsden's been there, and this looks like it's going to be a similar type of season the way these guys have played tonight. He's going to take a knee and let this run out.
That should do it. That's good sportsmanship there by the Tigers, too, not feeling like they had to punch it in and run it up. Good call there by Coach Gadsden. So the O'Brien Tigers start off the season with a W as the Boston Latin Wolfpack fall to 0-2 here in the young 2019 BPS High School Football season. The Tigers defeat Boston Latin 28-12 here at White Stadium. Certainly, some injuries for Latin. You can certainly see it out there. They're missing their starting left tackle. Their quarterback, who they came into the season who they thought was going to start, is out this week after starting last week. So a couple of new things there. But you also saw the guys that they have to lean on are really starting to wear down. And guys that played the entire game just didn't have enough steam at the end.
They were tired in the third quarter, Pat. You could tell. And anytime you get behind 2 or 3 scores, you start to feel so much more tension. You see it when the quarterback overthrows a couple of wide open receivers. You see it when there's some miscues defensively, where you take the wrong angle and allow the runner to get around you. And you see it all. But your point is correct. That's why I'm glad you picked next week, because if in fact Sussex can get back quarterback, Thompson goes to another position. Latin does have a chance to feel like they have their pieces in place and can really be competitive. Because Latin Academy is always a very physical team.
That's right.
So, and it's a bit of a rivalry. So there's a lot of emotion involved, and even though it's still early season, no team wants to start out 0-3. No team.
No question.
So
No
that's what Boston Latin's facing as they go into their week of practice this week.
No question. We'll see what kind of things they can do this week to sort of improve on what they were able to do out on the field here today. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we will have our game-winning coach, our MVP, and our final stats here from White Stadium as the O'Brien Tigers defeated the Boston Latin Wolfpack. We'll be right back, folks. Make sure you stick around.
Foster safety. Foster hope. Foster joy. Foster curiosity. Foster support. Become a foster parent, because every parent makes a difference. Foster, Massachusetts.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing. And it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
First time I tried biking, it was laying around my mom's house. And then I kept taking them whenever I could get them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far it'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Do you want to retire like a champ? Just like legendary basketball star Uncle Drew?
Don't do him like that, Uncle Drew!
You're already acing the game. You've got your dream ride.
Don't be slamming my door.
Sorry about that.
You just did the same.
Gotta get the boys. Your dream vacation and your dream team. And now you can make your retirement just as legendary.
I get buckets.
Get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again. But an awkward silence can be a great thing, like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Queen is just my everything. His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. Let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
No doubt you're going places, young lady.
Thank you. And thank you for the interview as well. I can imagine it was the last thing that you wanted to do after such a long campaign meeting.
You really are a very intelligent young woman. You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
You have no idea.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 Wonders of the World.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Foster safety. Foster hope. Foster joy. Foster curiosity. Foster support. Become a foster parent, because every parent makes a difference. Foster, Massachusetts.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
First time I tried Vicodin, it was laying around my mom's house. And I kept taking them whenever I could get them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Welcome back to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain. At the conclusion of Game of the Week, the O'Brien Tigers have taken down the Boston Latin Wolfpack 28-12 for their first win in their first game of the season. And a couple of players really had a big impact on the game tonight here for O'Brien. But one of them was sort of a surprise. We thought that Maffeo was going to be the starting quarterback, and he did play at quarterback for a little while tonight, but it was Michael Brooks who stepped in and did it both through the air and on the ground for the O'Brien Tigers. He's our MVP tonight.
He was, and he had a couple of key runs that helps get them touchdowns. So
right.
You're right. I mean, he had nice passes. He was able to control the offense. And the point you made earlier, you didn't see many mistakes offensively in terms of penalties.
That's right.
A lot of that is attributed to the quarterback having control of the offense, having control of the huddle, and having his teammates definitely have confidence in him.
No question. And Brooks is down on the field with our sideline reporter, Seth Orensky, along with the game-winning coach, Kevin Gadsden. So, Seth, take it away.
Joined by our MVP, Michael Brooks, and head coach Kevin Gadsden of O'Brien. Michael, when you stepped onto the field and took over as quarterback, it seemed to give your team a little bit of a spark. What were you looking to do with that game a little bit close in the first quarter? You took over, started running the ball effectively, and then able to throw a touchdown pass and really spark your team offensively.
You know, I always want to win when I step in the game, make an impact as a leader and as a player. But I just did the best I could, I guess, and we won at the end of the day. Came out big.
Obviously, having a guy like Curlins makes it a little bit easier on a quarterback, whether it be you or Luke. What did you see out of your running back today with 4 touchdowns?
My running back, my buddy Curlins, he was very good. Very good running back. He's I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to say. He had 4 touchdowns. He led our team. He made a big impact, me and him. You know, I just give credit to him, my friend. A very good friend.
Year ago, you were playing on varsity as a defender. Today, opening day, you're playing a lot as a quarterback and also on defense. Did you imagine that maybe you'd have this large of a role on offense this early as a junior?
Well, when I was a sophomore, I was on defense. I was a captain. So I assumed I'd eventually make it up to offense, starting offense, and make a big impact because I always believe in myself.
Well, Michael, it showed today. Congratulations on a great game. Bring in Coach Kevin Gadsden. Coach, you brought a fifth-year quarterback in Luke Maffeo back who was really good. We talked before the game about his leadership, and he played a role today offensively. How nice is it to have two competent quarterbacks, and we saw both guys make an impact today?
Well, Luke is a great quarterback. He's a great player and a leader on our team. We've been using Brooksy as a backup, but today we just felt that he gave the team a little more energy, and it's good to have a backup that can help the team and we don't miss a beat, you know what I mean?
You graduated two phenomenal running backs a year ago. Curlins was the one guy who brought back experience. We talked about the fact before the game that he might have to come up big for you. 4 touchdowns today, a couple of them really long touchdowns. How big was his impact for your team offensively?
Well, he's dynamic. He's played on the JV program for a couple of years. Now we graduated some older running backs, and now he's stepping up to be the number one. But there's times that he needs the rest too. And Brooksy and Luke give him the experience, but that front line was doing some work too. He couldn't run without the front five.
In that first half, probably the first 3 quarters of the first half, you guys had a couple big plays, but you weren't able to really grind out a long drive. In the second half, it seemed like you were able to grind out those drives and kind of wear them down. How happy were you with your play in the trenches as the game went along in terms of being able to make this game a little bit easier than it could have been when they were able to cut it to 10 points in the third quarter?
Well, we had to make some adjustments at halftime, but Boston Latin is a good team. They're not going to give up. So they made some adjustments and made it a little difficult for us. So it was up to us to make the necessary changes so that we could be successful.
What's the biggest change you make going into week 2?
We just want to get a little more aggressive and, just keep the kids' morale up and keep them in a winning attitude and competing and let them have fun.
Coach, thanks so much for your time. Congratulations on the win and good luck going forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you to you guys.
Guys, take it away.
Thank you very much, Seth. Coach Gadsden certainly proud of his team's 28-12 win over Boston Latin here tonight. Starting off the season with a win is always good. And we're going to take a look at the final stats from this game before we sign off. And first up, it's going to be the Boston Latin stats.
Yeah, for Latin, we talked about Brindell being sort of the workhorse, and he definitely was. 12 carries, 79 yards, and a touchdown. Thompson, quarterback, 12 carries, also 25 yards. Harris, 2 catches. Was able to get 50 yards with those 2 catches, and then Thompson, those same 2 completions out of 11 for 50 yards. And that's your point about getting their quarterback next week. If they can get him back, things could change for that.
No question. Let's take a look at O'Brien's final stats.
There's O'Brien. Yeah, Brooks, the outstanding player with 4 carries, 40 yards. Jinty, just under 100. He ended up with 99 yards on 20 carries and 4 touchdowns. Meanwhile, he also caught 2 balls for 30 yards. Smith had 2 catches for 30 yards. And Brooks playing most of the quarterback, probably about 3/4 of it.
That's right.
6 completions out of 10, 102 yards, and a touchdown.
A very good game for both Brooks and Jainty. Probably could have picked either one for MVP tonight. So, folks, if you want to watch this game again, you can certainly go to our website, www.cityofboston.gov/game of the week. All the games from the BNBL season over the summer are up there, and now we're going to be racking up football games over the fall. So make sure you check that out. You can go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/game of the week Boston. All of our YouTube links of games will be up there as well, along with other videos and different pictures about game of the week. And also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. 1 game down for this football season, a lot more to go. We'll be right back here next week, same time, same stadium here at White Stadium as the Latin Academy Dragons take on the Boston Latin Wolfpack. But for right now, I'm going to say so long here from Jamaica Plain right after this. We'll see you next time here, folks, on Game of the Week. Take care, everybody.